All right. Hey there. Surprise. So yes, I am, as I said in my Friday night live stream, I am going to be doing two bonus live streams this weekend, this being one of them. And it is basically a very, very late night get ready with me live stream. So what I am about to do is film episode 2 of my Dark Side of the Labyrinth series. And I'm really excited about this one because what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be covering, the episode is going to be about fairy tales and the fairy tale origins. And I am going to be kind of letting you in a little bit behind the scenes before I film my Dark Side of the Labyrinth episode. I am going to be actually putting my makeup on. I am sans makeup right now. None whatsoever. So this is me barefaced. So, and I actually do have my outfit on underneath. I'm going to do kind of a Snow White look. I do have my outfit on underneath this black hoodie, but because my dress is white, the gown I'm going to be wearing in the episode, I don't want to risk getting anything on it. I am not that sloppy though when it comes to putting on makeup, trust me, but you know, sometimes you never know, but you never know what might happen. And like I said, especially this late at night. The last episode of Dark Side of the Labyrinth, I filmed very late at night too. I don't know why I've ended up so far filming these things so late at night, but the day fell as it was, and it is what it is, and I do need to get these filmed and out. The way these episodes are going, as I've mentioned this before, but if you're brand new to this, my Dark Side of the Labyrinth episodes, they are first available to those on my Patreon, and then a week later they will be available to everybody else. But yeah, I am going to be doing kind of a Snow White look for this episode, and you know, because it's fairy tales, and I decided to do Snow White because it's always been one of my favorite fairy tales. And we'll see how this get ready with me goes, because this is my first time ever doing something like this, so maybe just you'll have to bear with me a little bit if it's a little awkward. But I'll also be talking to you, you know, while I get ready, a little bit of, you know, what inspired Dark Side of the Labyrinth, and you know, maybe some future episodes that I'm considering, and also maybe a few other updates going on with me right now. So all right, so I am completely barefaced right now, like, yeah, no makeup on the internet. So all right, and we're gonna get started, and first gonna be putting on the primer. So this is, you'll have to excuse my chipped nail polish. Yes, don't worry, I will be taking it off before I film. But yeah, this is e.l.f. It's a primer. It's a mineral primer. I do like e.l.f. They are a drugstore brand, and they're cruelty-free, vegan, all that fun stuff, and they're very inexpensive too, so I like them. I use a combination of high-end stuff and drugstore stuff, as you know, most people probably do. So what I do, I'm just gonna spritz a little of this into my hand and then just put the primer on. Get ready to turn myself into Snow White for the next Dark Side of the Labyrinth episode. All right. Okay, so now that we are primed, it is time for the foundation. All right, so got my little applicator, and I'm gonna be putting on the foundation. This is yet another drugstore brand. I actually really like this one. It's Wet n Wild in soft beige. Wet n Wild has really stepped up their game. It's their photo focus foundation, and to be honest, I like it. I like how it makes me look, so I'm gonna keep using it. So yeah, but yeah. So basically, I got the inspiration for Dark Side of the Labyrinth probably about like maybe a year or so ago. I was doing my Inside the Labyrinth TV, TV interviews, and, just discussing various aspects of history. And then Halloween rolled around, and I do love a lot of the paranormal YouTubers. I really enjoy like people like I don't know if she used to be called Britty44, but Brittany, she now goes by her full name, Brittany Crab. I do enjoy her. There's a few others that I enjoy. I like Haley Reese too. I've always from time to time, I do enjoy looking at some, watching some of their videos, especially when they do urban legends and folklore and things that are a little bit more historical. I also, I do enjoy, like I've always said, I enjoy going to places like Gettysburg and taking their ghost tours and just hearing about like that part of history. I love just plain regular history and learning about it, learning about the different angles of it. But I also sometimes, you love a good ghost story, and especially if that ghost story is based in some type of fact, based off of something that actually happened in real life, like say something like, the War of Independence, or, the Rev War, or the Civil War, or, the 7-Year War, French and Indian War. I do love, I do very much enjoy it. And I also enjoy urban myth, and I especially love folklore, and some of my favorite folklore is fairy tales. And of course, I've loved fairy tales since I was a child. But of course, I first grew up on the more Disneyized versions of fairy tales. And all right, now that I got that first coating on, for those of you just joining us, I'm turning myself into Snow White for my second episode of Dark Side of the Labyrinth. This is kind of a get ready with me before I film that episode. So, and I'm just discussing a little of, what inspired me to do that, and, where I want to go with it proceeding forward. So, but yeah, so this is, oh, hey, James, 2 nights in a row. We have to stop meeting like this. I don't know, maybe, perhaps. So, oh man, but anyway, of course, I always loved the Grimm's fairy tales growing up. However, I, like many others, first were introduced to fairy tales through Disney. And of course, you get the Disneyized versions. You get the Disneyized version of The Little Mermaid. You get the Disneyized version of Snow White. Hi, Victoria. How you doing? But you get all of those, you get all of those versions. And, and of course you have this watered down, kind of sanitized version of what those fairy tales are. But then when you actually say crack open the Brothers Grimm books, their stories, or you read the original Hans Christian Andersen, The Little Mermaid, and I'm going to be discussing those in this episode of Dark Side of the Labyrinth once I'm done getting ready with you guys and turning myself into Snow White for those of you just joining us. but then you read, like, and what was your favorite fairy tale growing up? Leave it in the comments. I want to hear about it. So maybe I'll discuss it in a future Dark Side of the Labyrinth episode. But okay, so little interruption here. Normally after the foundation, I would put on the bronzer, but since I am turning myself into Snow White, we're gonna skip the bronzer, okay? But for the sake of just explaining what kind of a bronzer I would typically use, this is actually by Besame, and it is inspired by their 1950s Peter Pan collection. And what I like about Besame is that if you are into vintage makeup, they are a great company to go to. They're not cheap, okay, but they're not ridiculously expensive either. So Sleeping Beauty, oh yeah, I love Sleeping Beauty too. Yeah, absolutely. I remember seeing the Disney Sleeping Beauty as a kid, and Maleficent just scared the crap out of me. but I don't know. I had this weird love-hate relationship with Maleficent. On the one hand, I was scared to death of her, but on the other hand, I liked her, and I actually was, spoiler alert for those that haven't seen the Disney version of Sleeping Beauty, though I don't know if anybody hasn't, but, spoiler alert, I was actually upset when I was actually kind of bothered when she, as the dragon, is killed by the prince at the end. But I also liked, but I liked Prince Philip too. So, like I said, I had this weird love-hate relationship with Maleficent when I was little. But but anyway, Besame actually did do a Sleeping Beauty collection too, and that's what they do. They all of their colors are based off of actual replicas of palettes of makeup colors that were around in like the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and then they even go into the 1910s a little bit. They go up to the 1970s. They don't go past the 70s. I don't know, maybe one day they'll go into the 1980s, but for now they just do 1910s up to 1970s. But this bronzer actually came from their Peter Pan collection. They've done quite a few Disney collaborations, Snow White being one of them. But skipping the bronzer for now, for today, for this look, because like I said, I'm gonna be Snow White, and Snow White would not have bronzer. So, oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so next we are going to put on the blush. I typically put on blush before I put on powder. That's just something that I do. There's really no right or wrong way to do that, but that's just what was that, James? Oh, you don't remember reading fairy tales till I was older. However, I did a book report on Bram Stoker's Dracula in 4th grade. Nice, I love it. But we mentioned Sleeping Beauty before. This is actually from Besame Sleeping Beauty collection. It is their blush palette. They have a blush and a highlight, 2 blushes, 2 highlighters. The plastic fell off. 2 blushes, 2 highlighters in the palette, and the bottom is based off of Briar Rose or Sleeping Beauty, and the other is based off of Maleficent. And then they have some of the designs from some of the actual the storyboard lines, and this is actually actually inspired by one of the storyboards, the actual original Disney storyboards in Sleeping Beauty. So, but I'm using it for my Snow White look, and I'm going to use actually the Maleficent color, oddly enough, just because it's a little bit darker and it'll make my cheeks a little bit rosier. So, but I'm going to skip the highlighter and then just kind of do this on the apples of my cheeks. I'm not going to do the whole contouring because I want just to have that kind of apple glow, and this might look kind clownish here, but once I get on camera and there's like the lights, it'll look great, because you actually, in fact, if you're doing, for those of anybody out there that's in like the film world and everything, you know, or theater, I've done a lot, you know, I've done a lot of theater as well. You actually do want your makeup to be a little bit darker than what you would normally put on, because otherwise, as you can see, without makeup, the light will completely wash you out. Hence, you know, my no makeup look. So, yeah, so that is the Maleficent part of the Sleeping Beauty blush palette from Besame Sleeping Beauty line. All right, so if I could get this closed, that would be great. All right, there you go. So now I'm going to put on the powder, and I am going to put on, this is a Cashmere powder, also by Besame. I'm just doing a complete Besame look right now. It seems like it. Maybe not. But this is the Cashmere Compact Powder in medium. And this is what the compact looks like. The design kind of wore off because I use it a lot, but yeah, but I'm just going to kind of put that on there. Okay. Okay. All right. Return the plastic too. I usually keep the plastic on just because, I don't know, just for me, it just, I don't know, it just seems a little more sanitary to me. I don't know, maybe it doesn't really make a difference. Maybe that's just in my head, but that's just what I do. All right, so now we have that taken care of. And I am going to then go to the eyes. Like I said, I am going to make my eyes a little bit darker. Just because, like I said, I want it to kind of pop on the camera when I do the episode. But yeah, but I am going to be using the Snow White eyeshadow palette by Besame. So yeah, so befitting. This is their Make-A-Wish palette, and it was released when they released their limited edition Snow White line. But there's this one eyeshadow that I'm almost completely out of, and it's Hoping, and I'm gonna put it on my eyelid here. But yeah, getting back to what I was talking about earlier. You know, like I said, I love a lot of some of like the paranormal channels out there. I like fairy tales, and I like haunted history and things of that nature. So so that's basically what spawned the idea for Dark Side of the Labyrinth. Now, like I said, about a year or so ago was when I got the idea, and that was when I was just doing my regular you know, history podcast and blog. And I did do some paranormal episodes and blog posts for Halloween time, but I wanted to, oh, thanks. I'm glad you like how I do my makeup. Awesome. You know, at Halloween time, I did do some, you know, a few episodes that were more of the paranormal history nature, but for some reason, like outside of Halloween, trying to like wriggle it in with my, okay, so now I'm going to use the color Magic Mirror, which I am also almost out of. So you can tell I wear this a lot. I wear these palettes a lot. But yeah, it just, like, some of the subject matters that I would want to cover just didn't seem appropriate for my regular Inside the Labyrinth podcast, which I am reworking, and I'll be re-releasing in about a month. But it just, like, yeah, they just wouldn't really fit. So I decided, you know, hey, why not just kind of do a spin-off of Inside the Labyrinth, of the history and, you know, and blog. And you know. So I did, and you know, I did my first one about a couple weeks ago. For those, you know, in case you haven't seen it, it was actually completely voted on by, you know, it was basically complete audience participation. Okay, so now I'm going to use the kind of white So Fair, it's called, to just underneath like at my brow bone. You know, it was completely, which I thought was really cool, completely voted on by my just, you know, it was audience participation. I, you know, would put out polls. I put out a couple of polls, you know, helping, you know, just, you know, which dress would you like to see me in, this 1860s Civil War era dress or this 1840s black dress, which I absolutely adore. And everybody voted, I mean, the 1840s black dress won by a landslide. And then I asked, you know, I did a poll on what subject matter would you like for me to cover. And it was, and you know, it was between Jennie Wade of Gettysburg and the story of the headless ghost at the Fort Niagara Castle, and Jennie Wade of Gettysburg won. That doesn't mean I'm never gonna, you know, do the headless ghost of Fort Niagara. It's just gonna have to wait, you know. So so that was another poll I did, and then I had everybody vote on which backdrop they wanted me to use. So it was like complete audience participation. I loved it. And, you know, and I hope to, you know, do some more of those, especially since there's so many topics to cover and a lot of historical outfits and stuff that I can wear for it too. And they won't always be, you know, you know, 20th century, pre-21st century. I mean, I will actually love to do like some, you know, maybe ghost tales from like the 1950s or the 1940s or 30s or something. So, but yeah, so that's another thing that I would love to, you know, do. So it's not going to be all, you know, centuries past. I would like to, you know, kind of branch out and do a little bit of everything, a little like all eras for this one especially. So, all right, now that I have the eyeshadow, okay, I am going to, now this is not Besame, oh my goodness, but I'm going to line my eyes with a liquid liner. You know, once again, that might seem a little bit vampish for Snow White, but I do, like I said, I want my eyes and everything to show up on camera. So this is called Super Cat. It's a liquid black eyeliner pen. It's by Soap and Glory. This is another really good good makeup line. You can actually get it. This is one you can get at the drugstore. And they do have like a cool vintage vibe to them too, more 1940s and 50s, but this is their liquid liner. I really like it. So I am going to just have to bear with me here because I do need to concentrate while I do eyeliner. Because otherwise, if you're not careful, you can mess it up. And then it doesn't look very good. Okay. Yeah, I'll just touch that up a little bit. All right, yeah. That's where I want it to be. Okay, now the other one. Then we'll end the silence. Okay, yeah, just gonna touch that up a little. There you go. Yes, there you go. Good. All right. So then I am going to take this eyelash curler here and give my eyelashes a little bit of a curl. Oh, and by the way, these earrings, I meant to say too, these are by a lovely woman called Sign of a Gray Horse. And I bought these. I didn't buy them directly from her. Sometimes she, you know, she'll like get, you know, do a wholesale deal or a consignment deal with some other 18th century vendor. But Sign of a Gray Horse, she specializes in 18th century jewelry, and you know, and I bought these actually off of Penny River Costumes, but Penny River Costumes does carry Sign of a Gray Horse sometimes at the market fairs that she's at. So both of them are awesome ladies. But yeah, but those are the earrings. I just wanted to mention those because they're some of my favorites. But yeah, now I'm going to take the eyelash curler and just give my eyelashes a little bit of a boost like that. So okay. But yes, there are a few other episodes, episode ideas for Dark Side of the Labyrinth that I have in mind. One being this, you know, as I was doing some research for this next episode on you know, based off of fairy tales by the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen and the like. I got the idea to, like, why not do an episode strictly on the Black Forest in Germany, because it said that a lot of the Brothers Grimm stories was very much inspired by, you know, by the Black Forest, you know, because if you read a lot of their stories, a lot of them do take place either in or near a forest, and it's said that the Black Forest actually really inspired them a lot. So and there's, like, when you're looking at that, there's all kinds of just really cool stories, and, you know, and how the Black Forest, and, you know, got its name and its history. So I might do a full episode on that. All right, so now I am going to be putting on mascara, and this is the most awesome mascara ever. It's by Eddie Funkhouser. It's his Quattro Variable Lash Mascara, and it really just, I mean, you don't need false lashes or anything when, you know, with this. And what I like, it's like, it's one of those adjustable caps where you can adjust it level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 1 being the lightest, level 4 being the heaviest. So I have it on level 3. So there you go. And as a side note, I've been putting, like, doing like a little, like, castor oil treatment on my eyelashes, and I swear they're getting longer and thicker. So, all right, like, little tip there. The castor oil is awesome too. It's like, seriously, it's like coconut oil, like, times 12. I love castor oil for, like, pretty much everything. Love coconut oil too. Coconut oil still has my love, but also love castor oil. So right, put on a coat. Yeah, and like I said before, so far I've ended up filming these Dark Side of the Labyrinth episodes super late at night. So, but like I said, it's just the way the day fell. And it's a very busy weekend this weekend, so, which is a good thing. All right, so now that we have all of that done, I am going to then get the most essential part of a Snow White look, and that is the red lips, okay? Because Snow White is known for having her lips red as blood. So, Victoria, I have some beauty products I can show you that are awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see them, definitely. Cool. Have to hit me up with them. So, all right, and I am going to first line my lips. This is a lip liner. It's called, the product, I'm trying to see the name of it, aside from my vanity table glare. It's called, I think, yeah, it looks like it's called Jane treacle or something like that. But I like it. It's I got it in kind of like the little discount basket at the place where I go to get my eyebrows waxed. Yeah, some of it was in the discount bin. I thought, why not? I'll give it a try. I really like it so far. But I'm just gonna line the lips a little bit. All right. Okay, so it also gives your lips a little bit of a tint. Now for the fun part, putting on the red stuff to get a Snow White's red lip. So, all right, so I am between two colors, all right? This is actual Snow White Red by Besame from their Snow White collection. That's really red. And I also have 1925 Blood Red too, so by Besame as well. So yeah, I am trying to decide which one to use, but why not try mixing them both together? We'll see what happens. So, all right, I am going to start. How about I start with the blood red one, because that one's actually a little bit, it's actually darker. And I'll put the Snow White red on top of it. Fabulous. Okay. Gonna line it first. Seen many a tutorial on putting on Besame lipstick, and you know, this is how they do it. All right. Okay, so we have the blood red on. Now we're gonna put the Snow White red on top of it. Ooh, I love it. Oh yeah, it's gonna look great on camera. I'm excited. All right. All right, well, one last thing, and that is the eyebrows. All right, and you know, I'm just gonna line them a little bit, just give them a little bit more definition. I don't know about you, but my eyebrows are a little bit of a mess right now. I do need to pay a visit to my eyebrow waxer, but I'll be doing that. In the meantime, we'll make do. All right. Oh, and this eyebrow, it's called Archery, and it's also by Soap and Glory. So, all right. All right, well, all right, voila, there you have it. And this is the look I am going to have in my second episode of Dark Side of the Labyrinth, which I am going to be filming right after I get off here. And yeah, like I said earlier, for those that came in late, I'm wearing this black hoodie over my white dress that I'm going to be wearing with a really, really cool looking blue cloak that I got from Romantically Bent at Fort Niagara. So I'm, you know, obviously I didn't want to be putting on makeup without, you know, protecting my white period dress. Okay. So yeah, I thank you for coming and hanging out with me. And it was a lot of fun. This was actually my first get ready with me, and yeah, maybe I'll do a little bit more if you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, so thank you very much, and I'm going to go film now. My work is not done, so I'm gonna go film the second episode of Dark Side of the Labyrinth. Gonna edit it and upload it to, thanks Lizzie. I'm sorry, what was that, Victoria? Where's your series going to be? Would love to watch it when it is released. I do have the first episode out right now. It's pretty much on all my platforms, on this Facebook page. It's on my YouTube channel, my Instagram. It's on all of my platforms. Now, the way I'm doing it, I am first releasing the episode to those on my Patreon first, and then a week later, it's going to be available to everybody else. So you can watch the first episode. That's available now. And the second episode is going to be available to those on my Patreon tomorrow. And then next Saturday, that is when episode 2 is going to be available to everybody else. So yeah, so that I hope that answers your question. And bye, James. Talk to you soon. All right. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching me transform myself into Snow White. And I will see you all another time. And I'm actually I'm doing, aside from my Friday night live stream that I did last night, I'm doing 2 bonus live streams, this being one. And then tomorrow I am going to be doing an unboxing of Mythology candles. They're a wonderful company and I can't wait. So can't wait to get I got my order in today actually, and I'm on pins and needles to open it, but I'm waiting to open it tomorrow so that I could open it with you guys. So, all right. So, thank you. Glad you're excited. All right. Well, I'm going to go film now while I'm still kind of awake. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. All right. Have a good rest of your weekend, and maybe I'll see some of you guys tomorrow in my unboxing video. All right. Thanks. Take care.